shopping, guys.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Leaves are falling and the temperatures are cooling down, but don't put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Leagues are underway with winter leagues beginning December 1st. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your holiday, birthday, or bachelor parties, corporate and team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Book a tee time today or learn more at doubleeagle.golf.
You have a big investment in your farming operation. Let Landmark Implement help you get the most out of your equipment by investing in pre-season service inspections. Let our John Deere trained and certified technicians provide you with a complete list of repairs that will help your equipment perform better and deliver maximum performance. At Landmark, buy 3 equipment service inspections and get the 4th free. Contact your local Landmark service manager for details and experience the Landmark difference.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I was noticing on your website you have more than 150 new 2024 and 2025 Hondas in stock right now.
Yes, we do, Charlie. It's neat when you drive by and see all the cars on our lot, and we have most all models and all different colors available, and we even have more than hundreds on the way. We also have the all-new, all-electric 2024 Honda Prologue in stock right now. We have a few of them to choose from. Plus, qualified buyers get financing from just 1.9% APR.
How about your pre-owned selection?
I talk to a lot of my customers and friends, and they still think that we just sell brand new Hondas, but we sell all different models, make of pre-owned cars, and we have more than 100 to choose from right now.
Well, maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's all-new Ridge lineup. The Ridge XR, the Ridge HVAC, and the Ridge Limited. All built to take on your day with a full factory cab, including heat and AC. Stop by Indian Motorcycle of Lincoln today and rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of November. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln at 27th and I-80.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Adam Carriker Show, the loaded show, the show that gives you unique insights, unbridled honesty, and producer Jake and I have a whole lot of fun in the process. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and on Wednesday, Steve Taylor drops that knowledge, but noon to 1 p.m. Central Time. Come join us. Grab your lunch. We have a whole lot of fun. And hopefully some intelligente things are said at some point during the hour as well. Don't keep your expectations too high, though. All right, today we're going to be doing Carriker's Trivia Challenge yet again. So you can call in, try to take down yours truly. Jake, what is that number?
424-645-6685. We'll play that in the second segment.
All right. First person to call in gets to take on yours truly. My winning percentage is 66%, 2-1. That's higher than Steve Sipple's. He's done it a lot more often. I don't know, a couple hundred times. But his winning percentage, we did the math, is 52% on the season, 55% overall. So the fact that I've only done this 3 times is completely irrelevant. My winning percentage is higher, and that's all that matters. Right, Jake?
I think that's how it goes, yeah.
Well, it's my show, so that's what matters. All right. So Carriker's Trivia Challenge, call in. Jake always comes up with the questions. I assume it'll be USC oriented. By the way, for those who are not staring at Jake like I am right now, he's in a beautiful number 90. But in a rear-end ugly USC jersey. You got to tell me about this USC jersey. What in the blue hell is going on here?
Well, I went to the USC spring game a few years ago, 2022, and to try to drive up attendance for the USC spring game, they said, we're going to clear out the locker room. We got all this backlog of old jerseys and stuff, and so they had this major sale, and it was very cool. And so I got a jersey there. I went with my dad. It was awesome. So the spring game, they set a record because they did that of near 15,000 people in LA went out to go see the spring game.
15,000, that's cute. But the jersey is awesome.
The jersey is very cool, yeah.
There might be more Husker fans this Saturday.
Yeah.
Honestly, there might be more than 15,000 Husker fans this Saturday than were at the record-setting spring game. But apparently you made some good memories. The number is phenomenal, so I'll forgive the jersey attire. And when I asked Jake about it when I first walked in the studio, well, you said something to the effect of you just wanted to kind of poke some people or troll people.
Yeah,
that's what you said.
I'm kind of a troll, yeah.
That's right. Hey, we have fun here on the Adam Carriker Show, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're going to talk a whole lot. It's time. It is time to talk USC, talk Nebraska. Dana Holgorsen. Is he kind of here to save Nebraska's season? Because that's kind of how it feels. All right. Also, is there a potential downside to Dana Holgorsen being here right now? People have widely praised this moving him to OC. I have praised it, but it can't all be sunshine and roses in a valley full of daisies, right? What are the potential downsides, if any? There's at least one. Okay. Like I said, nothing is ever perfect. We're going to discuss all that throughout this show. Also, Carriker's Trivia Challenge. Again, what's that number so they can call in to challenge me, Jake?
402-464-5685.
And the college football playoff rankings are running wild. Right now, Georgia would not be in, and Boise State would. Georgia's the 12th ranked team in the country. But due to the seeding, Boise State would be the 12th seed, and Georgia would be on the outside looking in, ladies and gentlemen. The Big Ten has 4 of the top 5 slots. Indiana and BYU play their worst games of the season, and they both move up 3 slots. What? I have thoughts, if you couldn't tell. I have thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, all throughout today. But first, one of my favorite characters, he's a coach, but in my mind, and rest in peace to Monty Kiffin, former Nebraska defensive coordinator. Lane Kiffin has ties to Nebraska. All that stuff is awesome. Lane Kiffin might turn out to be a good football coach. Had a rough start with the Raiders, USC, Tennessee. May have been called Miley Cyrus by an individual at one point in time. Oh, why don't we talk about that since I brought it up real briefly? I just heard this audio literally as I was driving in. This interview happened today between Lane Kiffin, who's, to me, one of my favorite characters in college football, and the ultimate frickin' SEC homer of all time, Paul Feinbaum. I'll just call him the other guy. All right, this audio exchange. When Paul Feinbaum interviewed Lane Kiffin today, I had to play it, give some quick thoughts, and just have some fun with it. Go ahead and roll that footage there, that audio there, Jake.
I'm sure somebody else is going to, get the Feinbaum love somewhere else, and I'm okay with it, when you take the shots, because we've talked about this before, it makes you better, makes you overcome things, like you got me fired from USC, and, we've said that before, now I'm saying, hey, I wouldn't have been here to have the Georgia win if you would have got me fired at USC, and I wouldn't have work for Coach Saban. So, again, I'm grateful to you, Paul. Thanks for that day. Thanks for the Miley Cyrus comment.
Well, thank you, Coach, for always remembering that, and congratulations again. We're all very happy for you, whether we have to be reminded of Miley Cyrus or not.
All right. She's still doing pretty well. So again, it really wasn't that big of a shot.
I
that you
think the
took,
two of you have had pretty big comebacks if you want to get to the heart of the matter.
There you go. All right, Paul. Appreciate you. Have a good week, bud.
That was too funny and such an awkward exchange. And it was like he was trying to call Paul out, but not really. But Paul didn't know what to say. And, oh, man, I just thought that was too funny. By the way, the whole Miley Cyrus comments, all right, are from Lane's, I think at USC is when he said them. And Paul said, how did someone like Lane Kiffin ever get these jobs? Feinbaum said. And again, this was when he was at USC. How did he land the Raiders job at Tennessee and particularly the one at SC? People think it's because of his father, Monty, the great defensive wizard in some respects. Lane Kiffin is the Miley Cyrus of college football. He has very little talent, but we simply can't take our eyes off him. End quote. So I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. The first time I ever heard that, I was like, that's creepy to hear Paul Feinbaum say that about a much, much, much younger girl. But we'll move on past the creepiness of the other guy, the ultimate SEC homer, Paul Feinbaum. But, oh man, I just thought the exchange was funny. It was fun for us, probably not for them. It was awkward. But in a way, Lane Kiffin kind of credited beating Georgia to Paul Feinbaum as well, which I thought was kind of crazy. He wasn't really trying to do so, but in a way he kind of did. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a voice. Like, I think it's pretty clear that Matt Rule listened to the voice of the fans and made a move that I don't think he wanted to make, but he finally recognized he needed to make at the offensive coordinator position. Folks in the media have a voice, all right? So that was kind of the other thing that I took away, because Lane was like, you basically got me fired. I seriously doubt that Paul Feinbaum got him fired, but clearly it resonated with Lane because he's talking about those comments all these years later. I'm not going to dive too much more into depth into that. Lane's just one of the ultimate characters and turning out to maybe be a pretty good college football coach in all of college football. And then you got the other guy, the SEC homer, the ESPN SEC favorite homer guy. He has said one thing. I literally never pay attention when Paul talks. I will turn if I'm listening on a podcast or a YouTube, I will turn it. I will turn the channel on TV. I'm sure some people love him. He's such a homer. I've never heard him say anything that isn't 1 billion% support of the SEC. Not one time ever, except for one. The one time was about 5 years ago when he said, and this is how good 1995 Nebraska really must be. Because it's the only time Paul Feinbaum has not taken the side of an SEC team. When asked who the greatest college football team of all time was, and you've probably all seen this clip or heard it at some point, he said 95 Nebraska. Other than that, it's always SEC bias. All right, I just thought the exchange was pretty funny. Let's talk Nebraska. Let's talk USC. It's time to start looking ahead to the wounded animal game. If you haven't heard me say it before, they're both wounded animals. Neither team's season is over. Neither team's season, Nebraska or USC, has gone exactly the way they wanted it to. They're both wounded animals. They're both in the corner, and they're both going to come out and they're going to meet at the Coliseum on Saturday. Part of me thinks the team that's going to win this game is the team that just cares the most. There's so much new, so much different, so much unpredictability. New offensive coordinator, new play caller. Dylan's going to play. Okay, so we don't have a new quarterback on our end, but they got a new quarterback on their end. He has a different skill set. He's a little bit better of a runner. He can take off. He can do the RPO. He can cause some problems that way. He's got a big arm. He's not anywhere near as experienced. All right, 17 TD passes to 10 INTs. So his efficiency isn't quite as good as Miller Moss, although Miller Moss had thrown quite a few INTs so far this year, which probably is large part led to his benching. I don't think he played that bad, though. I think USC was just kind of like, hey, there's a certain kind of music that I really, really like, but I've been listening to it for 3 hours, and we just need something new at a certain point. And I think that's what they were kind of doing with Miller Moss. All right, you can be at a party, and they can be playing the best music ever, but if it's the same freaking song over and over, eventually you got to try something new. And I think that's all they're doing out there right now. Plus, Jaden Maeva is actually a pretty talented guy. 6'4", 220, solid runner, decent speed, big arm, sophomore. If he plays well to end this year, he could be the quarterback of their future. Let's say they win their last 3 games. They end up 7-5. Lincoln Riley can say, hey, the defense is better. We found our quarterback. We won the last 3 games of the year, and all of a sudden they're feeling better going into next year. We're adjusting. Our first year in the Big Ten got a little rough. Now we know what to do. That could be how they look at it. You look at, coming back to Holgorsen specifically, though, it's funny to me because for the longest time, we would praise consistency in coaching staffs and the coaching staff not changing very often. Like when I was being recruited, there were 3 coaching staffs that had been together the longest of any other coaching staffs in the entire country. There was these 3, and then there was a gigantic gap. I don't even remember who number 4 was because there was such a gap. But number 1 was actually Penn State. Joe Pa had been there forever. His staff had been there forever. Obviously, this is pre-Jerry Sandusky and all that stuff. But number 2 was Nebraska, right behind Penn State. Charlie McBride had been there forever. Obviously, Craig Bohl was the D coordinator at that point, what was going into my freshman year. But a lot of these guys, George Darlington, Ron Brown, a lot of those guys were still there, okay? And Coach Solich, who'd been there for a long time, was now the head coach. That's the individual who was my coach the first couple of seasons I was at Nebraska. And then you looked at Oregon. Mike Bellotti, if you remember that, going into 2002, that was the year of Joey Harrington. They ended up number 2 in the country. They spanked Colorado in the Fiesta Bowl like a 4-year-old in Kmart. If you remember, if anybody else remembers that year, they ended up being pretty good. But Oregon had the longest consistency amongst their assistant and head coach over a long span of time. But now things have changed so much. Now we're to the point, and college football has changed, NIL, transfer portal, things have changed so much. Coaches come and go so much more often. You know, I can't help but wonder, as good a D coordinator as Charlie McBride was in this day and age, how long would he have stayed at Nebraska? He probably would have been a head coach somewhere else. Thank God he stayed at Nebraska. And I think he's glad he did, honestly, but it was a different time. But here we are, 21 games into Matt Rule's head coaching tenure, going into the 10th game of this season, and we got a brand new play caller, an offensive coordinator who wasn't here 10 days ago. And I'm applauding the move, mostly because a move needed to be made. Just a move needed to be, something needed to be changed. And then the guy happens to be Dana frickin' Holgorsen. So to me, it's a good move. It's just funny how quickly things can change. All right. Now, is there a drawback to Dana being here? Well, yeah, obviously, there are always drawbacks no matter what. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. The drawback to Tom Brady, well, he's not going to take off and run on you. So if you're a pass rusher, you don't really give a crap about rush lanes because he's not going to go. There's always a drawback to everybody, everything. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. So when you try to think, all right, what could actually be created as a new potential challenge based on this new situation, which we all believe, including myself, to be better, which is Dana Holgorsen, the offensive coordinator, and also calling plays. All right, well, how do the coaches react? All right, all of a sudden, you know, Satterfield's still here. Give him credit for not going anywhere. He's still here. A lot of coaches would not have stayed. But how does he respond? He seems to have responded like he understands, is what Matt Rule said. And the other coaches, all of a sudden, there's a new guy. It's been reported, you know, McGuire, the wide receivers coach, is helping Holgorsen out, or at least he was, with the terminology so he can get up to speed, caught up to speed quicker. I will say this. If I'm those assistant coaches, this is almost a refresh button, because if Satterfield stays here and you continue to struggle, there's a good chance there's a major overhaul in the entire offensive staff, and there still may be. But now with Holgorsen here, it behooves them for their position group to all of a sudden play better, because now all of a sudden if the offense plays better, everyone's going to look and say, no, it was Satterfield. Let's keep these other assistant coaches and try to keep Holgorsen, because look what happened those last 3 games if they went well. No, it was Satterfield. But if everyone continues to struggle, and I'm not saying there's going to be a gargantuan leap forward in the offense, I just want to see a little better efficiency, a little bit faster rate of play, things done a little bit better, a little bit more decisiveness out of the quarterback, just a little bit in these areas can make 10 to 20% worth the difference. Starting this Saturday, if we're just 10% better in various things, and then 15% better versus Wisconsin, maybe 20% better versus Iowa, just gradual little differences in all these areas, it adds up quickly. But if I'm one of these assistant coaches, I'm like, this is a fresh start. Because if all of a sudden I'm Donovan Raiola and the offensive line starts playing better, my chances of coming back next year, regardless of who I'm related to, just went up. Same with the wide receivers coach. Same with Glenn Thomas at quarterback. Same with everybody. The only person who's in the writing seems to be on the wall for Satterfield, but we will see how that plays out. And then you look at the locker room, it's like, man, we've been hearing this message of, you know, it's a process, then bang, something major changes. How do the players react to that? Here's how I tell you the players should react, like a fresh start and a new beginning. Who knows what's actually being said and how they actually feel? And I don't get the feeling that Matt Rule really consulted a lot of them, other than I know he spoke about how Dylan Raiola felt about it. And here's what Rule had to say. And I quote, "Dylan trusts me and trusts the program. What we're doing going forward, he just took it as what we are doing today. Now, he did say, I think all the guys had a positive reaction to it. And that's basically the end of the quote. So basically, he was talking about he feels like it's been positive, but he's hinted in I think, his press conference 2 Mondays ago, when Holgorsen was brought in, maybe there might be some interesting conversations. But here's the deal. If I'm a player, I see it as a refresh and a new start too. Okay. So other than that, I see basically nothing but positives. I really had to because I try to look at both sides of the coin. I try to look at the whole picture, not just the corner of the picture we want to see. And I had a hard time trying to come up with something that I didn't think was a positive, and that's all I could really come up with. And honestly, if you think about it, it could just be a restart and a fresh start for the coaches to try to keep their jobs going forward, especially on offense, and even with the players, trying to earn play time with a new potential coach, especially, and we don't know that he's going to be here, but in a perfect world, if Holgorsen's here next year as the offensive coordinator, this is the guy you want to impress now, especially if you're a guy coming back. I do think making this move is also timely. National Signing Day. I'm not even going to call it early National Signing Day anymore. It's just National Signing Day is in December. Third week of December. I think it's the third Wednesday, something like that. Transfer portal opens up December 9th. It's hard to sell playing for the offense that Nebraska had the first 9 games. First of all, what are we? Who are we? What do we do? I don't know. How do you sell an offense? You don't know what your identity is. And then it wasn't very good. It wasn't very consistent. All right. Now it's like, all right, especially if you can keep Holgorsen here. Hey, this is exciting for quarterbacks. This is exciting for receivers. This is exciting. And now we know who we are and what we're trying to be. If he ends up staying at least the rest of the season, you know what you're trying to do. And if you can at least go into a recruit's house and be like, hey, this is what we were able to do those last 3 games under a new direction, whether Holgorsen's the guy here or not next year, you can at least say a new direction. If it is Holgorsen, then you can say under Holgorsen's direction. But this is key timing as far as recruiting high school players and transfer portal guys, which is going to be heavy in December. Most of you are aware, Dawson Merritt, the Alabama linebacker, commit. A lot of people expect him to flip at any point in time to Nebraska. I don't know if as many people know this, but 5-star athlete Michael Terry, Nebraska visited him last week. Nebraska is still on his radar. All right. Now, when it comes to actual plays, not actual plays, but playing on the field, as far as improving things, obviously Holgorsen's a quarterback's coach, a wide receivers coach, and an offensive coordinator. That's what he's been his entire life. All right. He's never, by the way, as an offensive coordinator, he's never had an offense finish lower than number 2 in the nation in passing. As a coordinator, never lower than number 2 in the nation in passing. But when you think about the wide receivers, we have guys in that room who were pretty accomplished wide receivers in college football before. Isaiah Nayor, a couple years ago, was supposed to be the number 1 guy at Texas, hurts his knee, then he goes and he's all conference at Wyoming. Jamal Banks was an all-ACC type player at Wake Forest. They come here and they kind of disappear. A lot of what's happening right now is opponents don't respect our run game because there's nothing to fear right now with our run game. So what they can do is they can two high safety, man across the board. Dylan's not going to run. So if you're going man-to-man, you can turn your back to the quarterback to cover your man, unlike when you're dropping in a zone and you're facing the quarterback in your zone. Zones are better for scrambling quarterbacks. Man-to-man, not as good sometimes because when your back's to the quarterback covering your man, he can take off and you don't see him for 20, 30 yards down the field. So you have to worry about the quarterback running. As many skill sets as Dylan has, he's not phenomenal at that. He's shown he'll do it at least, so I'll take that. But you can go 2 high safety because you don't have to put an 8th man in the box because you don't fear the run game of Nebraska. So then over the top is taken away because 2 safeties deep, not just 1. Man-to-man because you don't worry about the quarterback running. And then you can press because the 2 safeties are going to take away the deep ball. So now you've got to protect short and underneath. Well, now you can get in the receiver's face and press, and we can't get off the press. So maybe Holgorsen can help with simple things. Talked about this before, putting people in bunch, putting them in trips, putting them in motion, yo-yo motion, creating space, spreading guys out a little bit, getting off a frickin' jam, not just lining up, taking 14 years to do so, hardly any movement. The defense knows exactly where you are. They can line up in their 2-man if they want to. Run the ball, Nebraska. Go ahead. 2.8 yards the last 4 games. Maybe Holgorsen can help by teaching the receivers how to get off a jam, a press a little bit better. all of a sudden these guys are not having to deal with as much jam and press because they're in motion, they're in bunch. And now you've got Ja'Cory Barney. Maybe you can get him in space on a linebacker, make the linebacker uncomfortable. I can't wait to see, because Holgorsen tries to spread people out, and then this one-on-one matchup over here I like. There might be 4 one-on-one matchups out there. Okay, maybe I like 2 of them. Maybe I like one of them. Let's go attack that one. Ja'Cory Barney is a one-on-one matchup nightmare, especially for a linebacker if you spread him out in space. Make him go with him in motion or something. So these are all things that Dana Holgorsen can help with. All right, let's see what else I got here. It is interesting because if we could potentially get Holgorsen to stay here, which I think is what everyone would prefer, he's still getting paid from Houston. So I would have to imagine, not that Nebraska's hurting for money, the University of Nebraska, but you wouldn't have to pay Holgorsen as much. Probably a normal Big Ten offensive coordinator rate, plus he's getting the money from Houston. I think he gets half his normal salary next year or 2 years from now from Houston. But he's going to get being paid a lot more, yet you don't have to pay him as much. And hopefully you can still get him to stay. A little bit of a bargain rate there. All right. I do think there's going to be a lot of Nebraska fans out at USC. I am genuinely curious. Does USC even care anymore? Their fans don't care. There may be more than 15,000 Nebraska fans there. I'm curious to see what the crowd split is. Is it 50-50? Probably not. There's probably still more USC fans, but I wonder if the Nebraska fans will be louder in the game, especially if they're in a particular end zone where USC's offense is. Might be able to make an impact. You never know. All right, there was actually something that I saw, and I saw this like a week ago, but I haven't talked about it. But I'm just running out of patience. I'm just going to talk about it. I haven't talked about it because we're not bowl eligible. Jake, I'm going to put you in charge for 10 seconds here.
Okay.
There's bowl projections, and we are among them. Can I talk about this for 10 seconds?
I think
so. Am I allowed to do this?
Yeah.
If we're not actually bowl eligible?
I think so, yeah.
All right. So right now we are projected to go to the, good God, Bad Boy Mowers, whatever. It's a bowl game. Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl inside Yankee Stadium. All right. And last week we were projected to play Virginia Tech. This week, we're now projected to play Georgia Tech. Ladies and gentlemen, there is your Nebraska bowl projection update. More to come when we're bowl eligible. How much time we got there, Jake?
Probably wrap it up pretty quickly.
All right, I got one last thing. I just thought this was too funny. So I've gone on this individual show several times. TJ Pettigrew. He's got a national college football show. Check it out on YouTube. He doesn't even know I'm plugging this, okay? But I've gone on. He's a good dude. He's very passionate. But he's a big Florida State fan. He goes, serious question. Do you guys think Florida State is the best 9-loss team in the country right now? Dude, I fell over laughing when I saw that. The answer is no. I don't even know all the 9-loss teams. Okay. Oh, by the way, Kent State had their first lead of the season.
Oh, good.
Remember
good,
they hadn't led all year?
Yeah.
They scored a minute and a half into the game versus Miami of Ohio. They led 7-0. They lost 34-7, but they led for the first time all year. By the way, the greatest 9-loss team of all time, ladies and gentlemen, I hesitated to talk about some of these things, but sometimes you just got to have fun, is still the 2021 Nebraska football team. 9 losses, every single one of them by 1 score. And I know it's going to make some people mad, but just roll with the punches here with me, because I've seen Will Compton tweet this out a million times about being the greatest 9-loss team of all time. But I messaged TJ, and I was like, I don't know if FSU is the best 9-loss team in the country right now. Probably not. I mean, my gosh. They're probably going to be the best 11-loss team in the country by the end of the year, though. But Nebraska 2021 is still the greatest 9-loss team of all time. Agree or disagree, Jake?
Oh, I completely agree. They would almost beat that Florida State team.
Oh, you would take Florida State?
Well, neither of them win. Florida State actually averages 13
true.
points right now. So I'd have to take that 2021 Nebraska team. But they always found a way to lose. I don't know. I think my brain would just explode.
I'm with you. Florida State, they don't lose by 1 possession, though. They get blown out all the time. 52-3 to Notre Dame, just for perspective for some of you fine folks. So I'm pretty sure 2021 Nebraska would dominate 2024 Florida State. All right, we're going to take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, Carriker Trivia. Either when we come back, do we have a caller?
We can. This is the time to ask for one.
All right, either when we come back or the following segment. Be the first one to call in. How about that? You can go toe-to-toe with yours truly. Carriker Trivia Challenge is going on today. Jake, what is that number?
402-464-5685. Try to knock Carriker down to 500.
I like how you threw that in at the end. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sander. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from Concordia University as we bring you Class B playoff action as the Seward Blue Jays host the Omaha Catholic Skyhawks. Seward survived a scare against Gretna East last Friday and now face a 10-1 Skyhawks squad who defeated Waverly 38-21 on Friday. It's semifinal Friday with a trip to the Class B title on the line as the 2-seed Seward Blue Jays face the number 3-seed Omaha Catholic Skyhawks this Friday at 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for affordable drinks and a great atmosphere this football season? Highball Bar has you covered. Whether it's pregame tailgating, postgame festivities, or in-game celebrations, Highball Bar is the place to be. With $4 beers, $4 mixed drinks, and more during their 4 to 8 p.m. daily happy hour, Highball Bar will quickly become your go-to place to sit back, unwind, and be your team's #1 fan. Highball Bar, located in downtown Lincoln, just 3 blocks from Memorial Stadium at 122 North 11th Street.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
The McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Leicester City plays Chelsea at 6:30 a.m., followed by Arsenal playing Nottingham Forest at 9 a.m. To cap off the Saturday action, Man City takes on Tottenham at 11:30 a.m. On Saturday, Liverpool starts off the action against Southampton at 8 a.m., followed by Ipswich Town playing Man United at 10:30. You can catch all these matches and more at the McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8&P.
Leaves are falling and the temperatures are cooling down, but don't put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Leagues are underway with winter leagues beginning December 1st. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your holiday, birthday, or bachelor parties, corporate and team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Book a tee time today or learn more at doubleeagle.golf.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I was noticing on your website you have more than 150 new 2024 and 2025 Hondas in stock right now.
Yes, we do, Charlie. Neat when you drive by and see all the cars on our lot, and we have most all models and all different colors available, and we even have more than hundreds on the way. We also have the all-new, all-electric 2024 Honda Prologue in stock right now. We have a few of them to choose from. Plus, qualified buyers get financing from just 1.9% APR.
How about your pre-owned selection?
I talk to a lot of my customers and friends, and they still think that we just sell brand new Honda, but we sell all different models, make of pre-owned cars, and we have more than 100 to choose from right now.
Well, maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings & Rings, your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog, a cat, or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from Concordia University as we bring you Class B playoff action as the Seward Blue Jays host the Omaha Catholic Skyhawks. Seward survived a scare against Gretna East last Friday and now face a 10-1 Skyhawks squad who defeated Waverly 38-21 on Friday. It's semifinal Friday with a trip to the Class B title on the line as the 2-seed Seward Blue Jays face the number 3 seed Omaha Catholic Skyhawks this Friday at 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Segment 2 of the Adam Carriker Show is brought to you by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue at 11th and Cornhusker. Ladies and gentlemen, they are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burnt end sandwich, a brisket burrito, delicious barbecue nachos, a full slab of ribs. I'm getting hungry just every day I read this, and I just get hungry reading this. All right, a half-smoked chicken and much more. Plus incredible size. Ladies and gentlemen, get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, located at 11th and Cornhusker. So we've got a victim, a caller on the line, but before we bring our friend on, a couple of interesting things, so to speak. Hopefully you'll find them interesting. Alabama, all right, he's got the number 1 recruiting class in the country right now, so it's not like they're hurting. Loses 5-star wide receiver commit with a, not $450, but $449,000 NIL valuation to SEC rival. That rival's Ole Miss, by the way. So they lose a commit basically due to a $450,000 NIL deal. Now, this has not been confirmed. And it's so wild, I'm going to admit that it's not been confirmed, but it's out there. And I've had a few people send this to me. So while it maybe or maybe not be true, here it is. LSU quarterback commit Bryce Underwood is rumored to have a $10.5 million offer from Michigan. Thoughts, Jake?
That's a lot of money.
My thought is you're underpaid at the ticket. That's what I'm thinking, my man. You need to get paid more. You need to demand a raise. DP just got very unhappy with me. All right, last thing. If I can find it here, Fran Brown, and then we'll bring on our guest to go mano y mano here. But Fran Brown, all right, a former cornerback who is currently the head coach at Syracuse University, former DB's coach at Georgia. Here's what he said. Fran Brown on his post-game ritual following a loss. I don't shower. I don't deserve soap. Winners get washed. I didn't start the quote, but there's the end of the quote. It says he watched tapes at the beginning of that night. Here's another quote. My wife, I can't sleep in the bed if we lose because I'm not going to get in the shower for that day. I'm just mad. End quote. Jake, you shower occasionally, right?
Yeah, every couple of days.
Yeah, every once in a while, me too. I will say this. While that is probably shocking to a lot of people, there was this thing in the NFL, we called it the shower pill. You ever heard of the shower pill?
I've heard of that. I've heard that phrase before.
Basically, it's what happens when you don't want to shower. And by the way, this does not happen a lot, mostly offensive linemen, but I digress. It's what happens when you don't want to shower. I never saw anyone do it after a game, but after a practice and you just want to get going. You say, hey, I'm going to take a shower pill. In other words, you just get dressed and you leave. I did it once. I don't know. I don't have anything to follow that. I did it once. A lot of people on the other side of the line that were rather large did it a lot. I'm just saying. The good old shower pill. All right. It's time to bring on our good friend. What's his name? Let's play a little character trivia challenge, Jake.
It's James. James is on the line. James, you still there?
Yeah.
How's it going, James?
Awesome.
What's your prediction for Nebraska USC?
27-21 Nebraska.
Ooh. Good prediction. I like it. All right. What's the first question there, Jake?
All right. James is going to go first. So James has got 3 either-or questions for you, and then we'll have 3 either-or questions for Carriker, and we'll see if you can get the win here. We get some nice little music going there for us, a little trivia music. All right, James, single-season passing leader at USC. Is it Caleb Williams or Matt Leinart?
Matt Leinart.
It is actually Caleb Williams. How about single-season rushing yards record with 2,427 in one season? Was that Marcus Allen or Charles White?
Marcus Allen.
It was Marcus Allen. There's a point for James. Most receiving yards in a game at USC with 345 in a single game. Was it Juju Smith-Schuster or Marquise Lee?
Marquise Lee.
It was Marquise Lee. There you go.
Ooh.
2 points for
Ooh,
James.
the pressure's on.
Solid start.
Oh, boy.
Let's go over to Carriker, see if he can get at least 2. 1 will lose, 3 will win. All right. Career passing yards leader at USC. Is it Carson Palmer or Matt Barkley?
Carson Palmer.
It is actually Matt Barkley. The pressure is on. You got to get these one. Single season rushing touchdowns record at USC with 24. Would that be Lindale White or O.J. Simpson?
O.J. Simpson.
It is Lindale White.
Dang it.
Therefore,
I said with such confidence.
Yes. Let's see if he can at least get 1. Who had more career receiving yards, Dwayne Jarrett or Keyshawn Johnson?
Well, now I've got to really think about it because now it doesn't matter if I get it right. Who are the 2 guys again?
Dwayne Jarrett or Keyshawn Johnson?
I'm going to go 0 for 3, but I'm going to go Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah, you're 0 for 3. It's
God.
Dwayne Jarrett.
See, the problem is you've always got to go with the more modern players because they play more games, even though Keyshawn was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. All right, congratulations, James. You've now made me less smart than Steven Sipple. So,
thanks for playing, James.
All right.
All right, just hold on there. We will get you on the other side, get you your prize. He did win $20 to Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs or Piedmont Bistro, the Pillar Restaurant Group. So thanks to them again here. How about this? Let's see if you can at least get 1 question right.
Wow.
Because let's go to the
phrase that nicely.
Let's go to the tiebreaker.
Jeez, Lou.
If you needed it. You had him on as a guest, so maybe you should know this. Former Husker Jordan Congdon is tied for 5th all-time at USC for career field goal percentage at USC. What percentage number is that?
Oh, yeah. This one's always the shot in the dark, needle in the haystack question. That's
Yeah.
right. I forgot about that.
If you can get close, though, it'd probably feel pretty good about
Within
it.
5% one way or the other, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Tied for 5th. I mean, he was pretty darn good. I'm going to go 89%.
75%.
Oh, wow. This has been a bad day. This has not gone well.
USC is not your best one.
I'm going to throw so many fits during the commercial break. This stuff's going to get broken. Dang it. All right. Well, hey, that's all right. Now we're 2 for 2. Now Steve Sipple is smarter than me, and I can't brag about a winning percentage or total number of times tried or anything. All right, Jake. You got any final thoughts before we go to break and I pout like a 4-year-old in Kmart?
No, I'm just going to go duck for coverage. I think.
All right, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about stuff that I have notes on, and maybe I'll sound intelligent. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Leicester City plays Chelsea at 6:30 a.m., followed by Arsenal playing Nottingham Forest at 9 a.m. To cap off the Saturday action, Man City takes on Tottenham at 11:30 a.m. On Saturday, Liverpool starts off the action against Southampton at 8 a.m., followed by Ipswich Town playing Man United at 10:30. You can catch all these matches and more at the McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8th and P.
Mulberry Barbecue is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue Open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
You've seen them come and go. Franchise testosterone clinics that pop up and then whoosh, they're gone. These franchise clinics quickly find out it's not easy to compete with Limitless Male. Limitless is locally owned and operated with a flawless protocol that has elevated them to be the best in men's testosterone replacement and sexual performance. By adding GLP-1s, our patients are losing weight in a healthy way. To feel your optimal best, schedule a free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppel Chevrolet GMC, wanting to thank you all again for your continued service. November is off and running. Check this out. Get up to $12,000 off or 0% financing on select new vehicles. We have great lease specials with new Trax and Trailblazers starting at $299 per month and new Blazer EVs leasing for $399. Great payments, discounts, and of course, 0% financing. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All finance with approved credit, leases with $2,500 down.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with light winds out of the southwest. See a high around 59. Tonight, clear skies and calm winds, low around 35. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies and it will be breezy. Afternoon high near 61. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, it's Chad with Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the #1 selling complete post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements. We fix basements.
At F Foundation Repair, we've been fixing basements for over 30 years. We're your local foundation repair experts. Our warranties stay here. Our people work here. You can trust us to take care of your home. Go to WeFixBasements.com to learn more.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show, where I cried the entire commercial break. Takes me back to my Little League days. I threw the worst fit you've ever seen in your life if I struck out, Jake. True story. I got pulled off a game pitching one time, and it was the first time I'd ever been pulled off. I was a pretty good pitcher. I'm walking off the mound, and before I know it, I launch my mitt into the fence of the dugout in front of everybody. My dad was a rather strict, stern individual. How do I put this? I literally did not sit down for a week afterwards. There was a point made there by Mr. Sir Dad Carriker. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk college football playoffs. Because here on this show, we talk Husker sports, college football, and sports in general as well. Before we dive into that, light that candle, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give a shout out to our good friends here at 93.7 The Ticket. Check them out at theticketfm.com. Also, Carriker Chronicles. Check us out on YouTube. Type in Carriker Chronicles and carrikerchronicles.com as well. All right. The new college football playoff rankings are out, but I'm actually going to go to some of the teams that were left out. The first two teams out, as I mentioned earlier in the show, are Georgia. They're the 12th ranked team in the country, but due to the fact that it's not always about your ranking, there's seeding involved. Like right now, Colorado's 17th in the country. They could end up with a top 4 seed at the end of this. If they end up with a top 4 seed, they've beaten BYU in the Big 12 title game. They've won a couple more games. So they're probably somewhere closer to the top 12 teams in the country, but they could still end up with a top 4 seed. It is, I hate saying Power 4. It's the Power 2 conferences, the next two. So the Big 10, SEC, and then the ACC Big 12, and then everybody else known as the G5, their highest rated conference champ. They automatically get in, but the top 4 seeds go to the Big 10, SEC, ACC, and Big 12 champion. And then the G5 top-rated conference champion is automatically invited into the dance as one of the 12 teams, but they don't get a guaranteed spot. But they could get, as I mentioned earlier this week, a potential top 4 seed, a first-round bye. And if Colorado wins the Big 12, Boise State is about 5 slots ahead of them right now in the rankings. I don't think Colorado could get the top 4 seed. Maybe Boise loses. But if Colorado wins out, Boise wins out. All of a sudden, Boise's probably ahead of Colorado. Again, Boise's only loss is by 3 points, 37-34 in Eugene to the number 1 team in the country. Colorado has 2 losses, and they play in the mighty Big 12. So I think Boise would be ahead of them. Boise would then be one of the top 4. So I actually explained it wrong. It's the top 4 rated conference champions. But the Power 4 conference champs are guaranteed to get in. The G5 conference champ is guaranteed to get in. But it's the top 4 rated conference champions in America. I hope that made sense after I explained it incorrectly to begin with. Does that now make sense, Jake?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so Boise could essentially be a top 4 seed. And Colorado would get in if they win the Big 12, beat BYU, etc. But they're not guaranteed a top 4 seed. But if Boise loses, they could get it. I hope that somewhat made some sense. But the next teams that are just on the outside looking in, number 15, Texas A&M, number 16, Kansas State. Colorado controls their own destiny. They're number 17, Washington State. All right, 8-1, number 18, Louisville. And I might actually chat about them specifically in a minute. They probably won't get in. They're probably out. They're a 3-loss team, 6-3, probably don't deserve to be in, but they've also beaten some top 15 teams. They've actually played a decent strength of schedule. If I have time, I'll get to Louisville. If not, I'm not going to worry about it. But here's the deal. You look at some of the first-round matchups. There's some exciting potential matchups here. Because let me go to the top 12 as a whole, if I can find it here. So the number 1 overall seed is Oregon right now. Number 2 is Texas. Number 3 is BYU, even though their ranking is 6th. And they were number 9 just a week ago. By the way, they go out to Utah, get outplayed, get sacked on 4th down their own 1-yard line. A holding penalty is called by the refs, which is why their AD, the Utah AD went to the podium and freaked out on the conference and everybody, probably rightfully so. Utah ends up getting the first down, ends up winning the game by 1 point. By far their worst game of the year. They go from 9th to 6th. You telling me that outside voices don't influence the people inside of things? That tells me it does, because then you got Indiana having a phenomenal season. But they were 10th. All of a sudden, they play their worst game of the year. I'll be honest with you. I know they beat Michigan. I know Michigan's the defending national title. I know they're one of the top 10, top 5 brands in all of college football. I actually felt worse about Indiana after that game than I did before, because I, without hesitation, took Indiana and the points, which was 13. They won. That's all that matters. They won by 5. At the end of the day, they control their own destiny. They get a bye week, then they go play Wisconsin or Ohio State. They beat Ohio State. They might be the number 1 team in the country. Well, number 2, at least, right behind Oregon, unless Oregon loses, they got Wisconsin. My point is simply this. All of a sudden, Indiana and BYU play their worst games of the year. They're both having magical seasons so far. And they both jump up 3 slots. That's because outside voices were yelling at the committee. Apparently, there's a little subjectivity to this. Who would have thunk? But I digress. So your top 4 seed. Oh, and Miami. How they're still 9th in rankings is beyond me, but they'd have the 4th seed. This is a team that could easily have 3 losses. Okay, they finally just actually lost. Cam Ward couldn't play hero ball and save them again. They're probably going to lose again. I would take SMU over them in the ACC championship game. Clemson, I don't know what to expect out of Clemson or Miami. I'd flip a coin and go with whatever the coin says in that game. But here's the deal. Number 1 seed Oregon, number 2 Texas, number 3 BYU, number 4 Miami. Here's some of the potential first-round matchups. All right, Boise State at Ohio State. If you watch Boise versus Oregon this year, you might look at that and think, oh, Ohio State's going to stomp a mud hole in them and walk it dry. You might think, hey, you never know, Boise. They got a history of upsetting the big boys. Notre Dame headed to Knoxville. Good old Rocky Top taking on Tennessee. I will say this. Notre Dame's going to get in the playoff. And if they win out, they should. They should be banned from a home playoff game. Jake, why am I going to say that? Why did I say that? You know the answer. Why did I say that?
They don't play in a conference?
Well, I hate that too. But
they're lost. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You lose at home to Northern Illinois, get outgained, outrushed, and flat out beat on your home field by a middling MAC team. You lose all rights to a home playoff game. You don't play in a conference, you already lost all rights to a first-round bye. They should be automatically relegated to a 9 or 12 seed, so they have to play on the road. Just my thoughts. Here, they're the 9 seed, and they would be going to Rocky Top to play Tennessee and Knoxville. The 8 seed, if this plays out the way it is, Ole Miss. The 11th seed would go up to Happy Valley and take on Penn State. It was such highway robbery. At some point, I got to discuss all these noon kickoffs. I know why it is, Fox. The 7-year, $8 billion TV contract that the Big Ten has with Fox, CBS, NBC. At some point, I have to go more in depth. Like Fox's time slot is noon. They get the number 1 pick more weekends than not. They just can't pick a West Coast team. Oregon, USC, UCLA, Washington, because they'd be kicking off at 10 a.m. So other than that, they always get the number 1 pick every weekend. Well, out of who's left in the Big Ten, who are you going to pick? Ohio State. Ohio State's played at noon 6 times. My point is when Ohio State played Penn State, that should have been a night game. It was highway robbery that it was not a whiteout at night. Ole Miss going up into Happy Valley. That better be a night game, and the whiteout atmosphere would be phenomenal. This next one excites me the most. Jake, how much would you pop for this matchup? Alabama, number 10 seed, going to Bloomington, Indiana, the 7 seed.
Blue bloods from different sports.
Yes, that's a lot of truth to that. What a matchup that would be. So a couple of thoughts here. These first-round matchups are going to be exciting. On college campuses are going to be exciting. I'll whine and complain another day about how all, except for the national championship games, all the playoff games should be on a college campus. At least the second round is on New Year's Day. 4 major bowl games should still be on college campuses. So basically, if you're a top 4 seed, you're guaranteed to not have a home playoff game in the playoff. Again, I'll whine and complain about that more another day. There's some phenomenal potential matchups in this first round. And again, the top 4 seeds, Oregon, Texas, BYU, Miami. Now, you kind of break this down by conference a little bit. The Big Ten has 4 of the top 5 ranked teams in the country. And, of course, people on the ESPN SEC network are whining about it. Wah, wah, wah. Maybe we get enough SEC bias. You're literally in business bed with the SEC. We get it. Let us have our day. You get every other day of the week. Let us have Sunday, maybe even twice on Sunday. All right, Oregon's number 1, Ohio State number 2. In the new CFP rankings, number 3 is GAG-Me-U, Texas. Number 4, Penn State. Number 5, Indiana. The SEC also has 4 teams in the top 12. Not the top 5, but the top 12. GAG-Me-U, Texas at 3. Tennessee at 7. Alabama at 10. Ole Miss at 11. Ole Miss is the most dangerous team in the country. That's why I predicted them to beat Georgia. Georgia have had a top 5 offense 2 years in a row. Right now, they're 50th in the country. They've always been able to run the ball, can't run the ball. Their defensive secondary is a flat-out liability. Their quarterback leads the entire country the last 6 games in turnovers. 14 in 6 games. Georgia and Alabama are, if you look at the talent composite rankings, are the 2 most talented teams in the country. Georgia's wildly unpredictable. Even if they get in, they got the talent to win, but they're so inconsistent, I would never predict them to win before the playoffs start. Alabama, the reason I brought up Georgia is Alabama has looked like the best team in the country at times this year, and they also have looked like they don't belong in the playoff at times this year. The first half versus Georgia, number 1 in the country. Wisconsin, number 1 in the country. In Knoxville at Tennessee, or who'd they play last weekend? Who'd they spank? LSU, number 1 in the country. And then you watch Carolina, the second half of Georgia. About their previous 3 games before they played at LSU. They look like they don't even belong in. I do think they figured something out. Let's not overthink this. I don't know, this S word. What do you think of this S word, Jake? Simplify. They simplified and they said, let's give the ball to Jalen Milroe. He's big, fast, strong, and he runs 22.3 miles per hour. They did that in the first half against Georgia. They ran wild. They quit doing it for about the next 4.5 games. Wasn't so much the same. Go to a bye week, reevaluate. Hey, let's give the ball to him again. I mentioned on Monday, he averaged 15 yards a carry. He had more rushing yards in the first half than LSU had the entire game as a team. He's not half bad at throwing, but why would you take away the running game from him? All right, the ACC has one team currently in, the Big 12 and also the Mountain West. So right now, the Big 10 and SEC, and this has been projected this way. I've had the same article up on my laptop for a while. I'm just going to read the headline. College football playoff predictions. Big 10, SEC occupy 8 of 12 spots. The other 3 go to the ACC, Big 12 champ, the G5 team, and have your cake and eat it too, you, Notre Dame. I like to take little jabs. People, I say it in love most of the time. If it's the Yankees or Notre Dame or Texas, I get a lot more serious. But most of the time, it's in jest, especially if it's Texas. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Wins over currently ranked teams. Plug one for Alabama. Alabama has 4, more than the AP top 5 combined. Oregon has 2. Ohio State has 1. Texas, Penn State, Indiana combined have 0. Alabama has 4 by themselves. More than the top 5 teams in the country combined. All right. How much time we got there, Jake? Because I got
probably wrap it up pretty soon.
I got a couple other nuggets. All right, you look at so Indiana. They've looked like a top 5 team all year. The problem is, and I'm rooting for them to be honest with you, they got a 94% chance of getting in the playoff. I'm curious if they lose though, what happens? I'm curious if BYU gets to the Big 12 championship game and loses to Colorado. Do they get in with 1 loss? They're going to be compared to a 2-loss Bama team, and I just talked about who they've beaten. They're going to be compared to a 2 or even 3-loss Georgia team who has played the most brutal schedule under God's hot sun. I've outlined it 1,000,000 times. I'm not going to do it again. If Georgia loses again and BYU loses a Big 12 championship game and Georgia and BYU had to play to get into the playoff, I'm putting like all my money on Georgia. So why in the world would BYU get in? I'm telling you, it's a dilemma that I've been talking about since last summer. It's on the horizon. All right. See if I got anything else here real quick. Boise, strength of schedule, 90th in the country. Strength of schedule remaining 90th in the country. 65% chance of getting into the playoff. If they win, they're in. That's pretty much the bottom line. And the last thing I've actually got, we got about a minute left here, so I'll wrap it up quickly. You look at Colorado, it's interesting. They've given up 29 sacks so far this year. That's 120th in the country out of 133 teams. I will actually credit Shedeur Sanders. For 2 years, he's been a really, really good college quarterback. I'm curious to see how he does in the NFL. Talked about that a couple months ago. Last year, his line was absolutely awful. This year, they're just kind of bad, and he continues to produce in the college ranks. I can respect that. Their defense is somewhat improved. They can at least get after their quarterback. They throw the ball 62% of the time. They don't run it often, but they actually are better at running it when they do, and they're finding ways to win. We're going to end on this. Colorado, Big 12, BYU in the Big 12 championship game. Who you think is going to win? Who do you want to get in the playoff? Who's more appealing in the playoff? Undefeated BYU or Colorado?
Oh, Colorado. I stay with my USC jersey.
I'm thinking before I speak, which I don't do often. Probably Colorado. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll see you tomorrow. Go, Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the bud.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you ready for